question is for Ed to talk about the progress of the other schools that we're going.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm humbled with the turnout. I'm happy to hear that there are educators in the house. So you know well that the adversity that our kids are facing and the story needs to be told. It's never a simple case of them not caring or not wanting to do well for themselves. So you know the true stories, you know, and I thought it was important to support Chris in the project because I think that they're unfairly misconceived sometimes with society in terms of kids from the urban inner city. And this film really accentuates all the extra baggage that our kids come to school with, and we need to be aware of that and be sensitive to that. But to your question, it's funny that you asked. Recently, I've expanded my proposal a little bit, and the vision includes the Bronx Borough president is Adolfo Carrion, and he has adopted our school, and he's taken personal interest in it. He is now the White House Director of Urban Affairs. So, as a bit of a change, he reports directly to the president. And one of the proposals that I'm putting on the table right now is to change the way urban education is done, starting in the South Bronx. And the way that looks is, I've identified a building, and it's a warehouse of 420,000 square feet. And I see changing the way high schools are created. With the small school model, we have limited resources to offer our kids a comprehensive education. So the kids, if they want to pursue an arts program along with their studies in math and science, it's usually difficult to offer everything. So my proposal is to create under an umbrella of 4 or 5 schools that creates a campus. And it kind of coordinates like a university system. So the first 6 periods of the day, each school is responsible for their 500 kids. So then we coordinate and agree that after 12:30, the kids can then personalize their programs, like if they were at a university. And I feel that that's the only way to help level the playing field in terms of helping urban inner city kids compete and survive college. I think that there are 2 strands to college preparedness. One is the academic rigor preparedness, and the other one is the social, cultural assimilation preparedness. And that's the vision, and it's great that you're asking, but there is great interest, and it's been proposed to the chancellor, and I have the support of the director of the White House Urban Affairs. That sort of helps. So it's moving along nicely. So I'm asking everybody to keep me in your prayers and your thoughts, because this can be a model for the country that will change the way that we educate urban children.
Yeah, we're trying to get Ed on Oprah so that she can. Any other questions? Yes, you.
Congratulations for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Because of all that you have to undo with the kids by the time they get to high school, what about going down to the lower grades, middle or elementary school?
Yeah. What about the lower grades, not just high school, but
It's a great question. I've been talking to my staff lately and had them really embrace a vision of coming up with an 11-year plan. The 11-year plan starts in the middle school. So we are now sending our people out to our feeder middle schools and having conversations with the children in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade about graduating from college in the year 2000, whatever. So we start 3 years in middle school, then the 4 years that we have them, and then we've been now coordinating with colleges and universities that have special programs like the Posse grants, and there's a lot of great grants out there so that they can help monitor our children's progress to make sure that they make it. Our goal at Bronx Center is not just to have kids matriculate, it's to have kids graduate, and that is the real goal. And it's an 11-year plan, and that kind of addresses your question about starting in the middle schools and having those conversations early about college.
you and then you. Yes.
Yeah, my question has to do with the vocational part of it. We have a lot of students that are not going to make it to college, and have you got a program for them to go into some vocational thing? Because I think our greening of the America is coming up,
Yeah.
people have to be trained in those particular things. So,
Is there a vocational piece that you're thinking about?
We are, actually, and it's a great question. I think as part of the President's initiative on creating charter schools and helping kids learn a trade, as part of this campus model, I have written into the proposal a vocational school aspect for those kids who want to study a particular trade. I haven't flushed out the details yet. It's premature for me to talk to you about the details. But yes, indeed, we have now recognized the fact that not everyone is destined immediately after high school for undergrad. And if they can have a vocation, that would be very helpful. So thank you for the question.
Yes.
I enjoyed the movie. I wanted to ask, how's Sharifa?
Sharifa, as you can tell, I mean, for the movie, it was a very, very happy ending. And I think one of the things we need to realize with documentary is that after the cameras get switched off, real life continues. And as you saw at the very end, her mother actually passed away just November of 2008. And that was really, really sad. A huge shock to Sharifa and her two siblings. Sharifa actually had to move out of the Bronx, so she didn't even get to be there for the last years of her high school career, and she had to move in with her grandmother, who, as you know from the film, had some trouble raising her own kid. So, I guess the way I see it is that it's too bad that happened and that Sharifa's kind of going downhill again. But I think to myself, what if she never had Principal Tom in her life? How much worse she would have been. And I think sometimes these things don't pay off in a year or 2 years. They pay off 10 years, 20 years down the road. So I think one day she will realize how special it was. But right now, she is struggling. Yes.
I want to know how often were you filming, and was there any kind of impacts on the kids or the teachers, like with the presence of cameras?
Right. We purposely kept it to a very small crew. The question was about impact of cameras and how often we were filming. We went about once or twice a week, and we had no budget to work with in the very beginning. So I just had to hire a local crew. I flew out there myself a lot because I'm based out in Los Angeles, and we just said for Ed, he wanted to give us full access to the school as long as we made sure we didn't interrupt any of the instruction. And because we were such a crew of 2, 3 maximum, the kids got to trust us after about 2 weeks, and they would almost forget about the camera, and hopefully you can see that on the screen, that they're just really not that conscious about it. In the beginning, they're kind of waving their hands and think they're on MTV or the news, but once they realize that's not going to happen, then they're like, well, forget about you guys. But I think Ed was also instrumental in because the parents and the students absolutely trusted him. So because he would vouch for me, they would trust me as well.